Well, now that the AP has just called Darline Graham looking to advance to the Republican special primary runoff election, Ralph Norman was seen as a leader in this space for this special runoff. Seems to be in third right now as the votes are still counted. We're going to turn now to Julie Kay, who has more, our expert in the field on this. Julie, this news just coming out moments ago, and what's the environment like there with the Norman camp?
Yeah, we are in Rock Hill right now, where there's a lot of people here. The energy is still high because we knew from the jump. He even said this morning when we talked to him at the polls that a runoff was pretty much guaranteed. There are 10 people in this field, and there was pretty much no chance that any single one of them was going to get 50% of the vote just because of how many there were. Now, he's behind these doors right now with family and close friends, waiting for the rest of those results to come in, because right now, even though current Senator Darline Graham, Lindsey Graham's sister, has been officially called by AP and NBC as moving forward to the runoff, it is really between Congressman Ralph Norman and Congressman Russell Fry for those last spot there. So I wanted to pull up the latest numbers. We still have about 41% of voting in right now, so there's a long ways to go. But right now, NBC has Russell Fry at 22.9% and Ralph Norman at 22.4%. Granted, still about 60% of the way to go, and I'm especially waiting for York County numbers to come in. We've only got about 11% of those in right now. Of course, Ralph Norman, we're in Rock Hill right now. He's from this area, is likely to have a lot of support in this region and get a boost from those votes being completed in York County. So there's still a long ways to go. Multiple particular counties we're waiting on, so it's going to take a while, I think, before we get the official word calling on who is going to be advancing with Darline Graham to that runoff on August 25th.
Yeah, it looks like, as I'm seeing the numbers, 44% of the vote is in. As I'm looking right now at MS Now, obviously this will depend on where you're looking at the site. Those numbers could shift. But there is potentially a chance here, Julie, that we may not know who the other competitor will be in this special runoff election. Can you kind of explain where we could be if that does happen tonight? It may take a day or so, right?
Yeah, and that's not uncommon, especially for these races where we're looking at tenths of a percentage point for who moves forward, especially because Darline Graham is in such a sure position. It really is going to be important to see who fills this second spot. So it's not uncommon in some of these really close races that, maybe it takes a day or two to get things to be official, especially if things are so close that they need to recount things. But at this point, there's no sign that necessarily is going to happen. There's still, as you mentioned, nearly 60% of the votes left to be counted, and so there is a good chance, especially with York County coming in, some other large counties, that this clears up pretty quickly. If it doesn't, though, we could be waiting until tomorrow to find out more information.
All right, and Julie, just talking a little bit more about the importance of this race. Obviously, you have reported on before how heavily watched, how heavily spent the North Carolina Senate seat is going to be. Michael Whatley and Roy Cooper. This may not tally the same amount of money, but it's still a big impact on how the Senate will look like. Obviously, Congress as a whole, which influences many different things as we head into the second part of President Trump's term. Now, I heard Darline Graham speaking to constituents today. She wants that seat to be hers. A lot of folks have been asking about her political prowess, obviously any of the things that she's done in her past, but this could be a hotly watched race, especially the runoff that we'll see, obviously, coming out of this. But what are some interesting, I guess, storylines that will lead us into November, maybe, that you are watching for? Do we expect this to be a close race once this Republican is now in place after the special runoff and we have the Democratic challenger in place? What is that looking like?
Yeah, Charlotte, of course, is in an interesting position with two very important Senate races happening. We've got, of course, in North Carolina, more of a race between Democrats and Republicans. Of course, South Carolina is a more solidly red state, but this definitely shakes things up with things having to come together so quickly. I think the bottom line here is everyone kind of agrees there is no replacing Senator Lindsey Graham, not just because of his experience, but he was, towards the end there, so close with President Trump and had so much sway on his opinion in that same regard. And so whoever fills his shoes, even if it is his sister, is going to be to some extent a different style of leader. And that is a big shift for South Carolina. He had been in that position for 2 decades, serving South Carolina at the national level for 3 decades. And so no matter what happens, this is going to be a shift for the state. And so that will be interesting to watch no matter what, Colin.
All right, some good storylines as we get things ready for November and the special election, of course. Julie, I'll let you go. I know that you will get things, the latest for us tonight at 11. Please watch. And Julie, I appreciate your time. Thanks for making the time here for the stream as well. All right, folks, we're going to go to another 2-minute break here. We'll continue to watch these numbers. If anything changes, of course, we will let you know on the developing news, but we will have an update for you, complete update from Julie tonight at 11.